unseen forces of nature returned to Florida with alarming speed. Just one day after a wave of tornadoes tore through the Panhandle, May 11, 2025 brought yet another destructive storm system that tested the resilience of communities across central and northern Florida. This was not an isolated event, it was a continuation of a relentless pattern, and the destruction it left behind was anything but ordinary. On the morning of May 11th, the skies over northern Florida looked unsettled. Meteorologists had warned of continuing instability, but what followed was far more intense than most had expected. By mid-morning, powerful storm cells began to move across the state, triggering severe thunderstorm warnings in multiple counties. What started as strong wind and rain quickly escalated into a violent and damaging weather outbreak. In Leon County, including the city of Tallahassee, the situation turned critical around 9:30 a.m. Heavy rain pounded the region, reducing visibility to near zero. Straight-line winds gusted well over 60 miles per hour, snapping tree limbs and toppling entire trees onto roads and rooftops. One major thoroughfare, Appalachia Parkway, was littered with broken branches and power lines, causing traffic to grind to a halt. Emergency crews rushed to clear intersections and assist drivers stranded amid the chaos. Further east, Jefferson County bore the brunt of what many residents described as one of the worst storms in recent memory. Around 11 a.m., a line of storms moved through Monticello, producing intense wind bursts that damaged homes, barns, and utility poles. Debris was scattered across fields, while in town, sections of rooftops were peeled off by the force of the wind. Local officials reported widespread power outages affecting hundreds of households. Emergency shelters were opened for those needing a safe place to stay. In Madison County, the storm reached its peak intensity. Around 2 p.m., residents near the small town of Lee reported funnel clouds and swirling debris, raising fears of a possible tornado. Though the National Weather Service has not officially confirmed a tornado touchdown in that area, the damage on the ground was consistent with tornadic activity. Multiple trees were uprooted and one large oak fell across a county road, blocking access for several hours. A nearby convenience store sustained major roof damage, and debris from the building was found scattered hundreds of feet away. Emergency services responded quickly to assist with road blockages and minor injuries, but the sudden nature of the storm meant that many people had little time to react. Cell phone footage captured by residents showed flashes of lightning illuminating skies as dark as night, with violent winds whipping debris across yards and fields. "It came out of nowhere," one resident said. "The sky turned black, and then the wind just hit us all at once." Down in Suwannee County, similar scenes unfolded. High winds brought down power lines in Live Oak, knocking out electricity to entire neighborhoods. In some areas, transformers exploded in showers of sparks, leaving streets in darkness even before sunset. Local fire departments responded to multiple reports of electrical fires caused by the storm's impact on the grid. Fortunately, no fatalities were reported, but the threat level remained high throughout the day. These weren't isolated cells. The storm system stretched across a wide portion of the state, impacting rural farmland, urban streets, and everything in between. The sheer reach of the weather made emergency response efforts more difficult, as crews were dispatched across dozens of different locations simultaneously. Cleanup began almost immediately, but the extent of the damage quickly became clear. May 11th was part of a larger pattern. According to the National Weather Service and NOAA, the severe weather outbreak that began earlier in the month continued to intensify across the southeastern U.S., with Florida bearing a disproportionate share of the impact. The storm on this day, while not producing large-scale tornadoes like the events on May 10th, still caused substantial damage due to its scale, speed, and wind strength. What made this storm particularly dangerous was its unpredictability. In many cases, warnings came only minutes before the worst of the weather struck. The storm's rapid development and erratic behavior meant that residents had little time to prepare. Many found themselves racing to move vehicles, shelter pets, and seek cover just as the worst of the winds arrived. Local authorities emphasized the need for better readiness as storm systems become more dynamic and less predictable. Oh my God. The chaos caught on camera was unlike anything some had ever seen. Garage doors buckled under pressure. Outdoor furniture was lifted into the air. Entire backyards looked like they had been blasted by a bomb. While the storm may not have carried the name of a hurricane or the confirmed status of a tornado, the destruction it delivered left a lasting impact on everyone who experienced it. In total, dozens of structures were damaged across several counties. Thousands lost power. Roads were closed. Cleanup efforts stretched into the following week. And all of it happened while the region was still recovering from the May 10th tornadoes. Please subscribe and share this video. Stay aware, stay informed, and above all, stay prepared, because nature isn't waiting.